Welcome to Evolution by Philip Malika. You can find me on Substack at philipmalika.substack.com. Today's column is entitled Fleets of Drones. If we know what they're not, then what are they? Well, I guess I need to weigh in on the drone sightings on the U.S. East Coast. Since I have been talking about this since the inception of this column, and for years prior to that unofficially, it is only fitting that I lend my voice to the likely explanation. If these are not man-made, and if the technology is counterindicated by every law of physics we know, then what remains? Exclude the impossible, and what is left, however improbable, must be the truth. What we know through congressional testimony by pilots and experts that is widely accepted is that these craft do not have a measurable heat signature and have no discernible means of propulsion. They cannot be tracked, shot down, or otherwise pursued, and they exhibit movements incongruent with any known aircraft. And yet, here they are. So, they do not ascribe to our known physics. What remains is that they do not originate from here. Here meaning within our physical dimension. If they were to, then they would have to conform to the physical parameters of our dimension. Since they do not, the only remaining explanation is that they originate from adjacent dimensions and have found ways to temporarily impinge upon ours. I could spend a whole column on its own about the who, what, when, where, and why of these sightings and what their intentions are, and I have done so. You can view one such series of mine on the subject, which I highly recommend, called Aliens or Government Exploitation, a primer to help differentiate truth from a Pentagon marketing campaign. This is a three-part series in which I explore this phenomenon in detail. One thing I will mention is that referring to these craft as drones instead of UAPs or UFOs is purposeful and steers perception towards the idea that they are man-made and can be used as weapons, such as our own current drone technology. This is not an accident. Never waste an opportunity to make people fearful and wanting daddy to govern us harder. If they are not domestic, meaning Earth-based, then perhaps they are signaling friendliness by exhibiting conformity to our air rules, such as their lighting arrangements. It is entirely possible that their game has stepped up since some of our earlier sightings, or that it is a different group of interdimensional beings than we have encountered before. Again, all of my ideas are based on the assumption that these are not domestic. If they were domestic and of U.S. origin, it is highly doubtful that they would be trolling military facilities, which would much rather be left unidentified. My thought is that they always seem to show up near military installations or operations where there is something hanky going on to highlight to the rest of us that fact. I suspect this is the case now. In the New Jersey case, they are all around a military development base. No surprises there. Either they are from there, or they are highlighting it for us. It's not like this all started yesterday. This has been going on for over 7 decades, since they first started disabling our nuclear missiles in the 1950s. So let's not pretend this is the first time we're seeing this. I have some fresh thoughts on the current round of sightings that I will share in part 2 of this particular column. But for now, this is enough for curious people to consider. See you soon.